Now that is the very end of the African continent, and we are at the very end of the 2018 season. Welcome to World Rallycross from South Africa, Cape Town, Table Mountain, and all the action you could possibly require. Well, hello and welcome to South Africa. Hello and welcome to Cape Town, South Africa for round 12 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. Over there is Table Mountain, and this is the fantastic Killarney International Raceway, which is hosting this event. So we've had session one of qualifying. If you did miss that, don't worry, we'll bring you up to speed with what happened. But here's where we've been so far this year to bring us to this point. We've been around Europe on our tour. We went across the Atlantic twice to Canada and to Austin, Texas, and now we've come all the way down to the bottom of Africa for the only round of a World Championship event that takes place in sub-Saharan Africa. And there, look, what an amazing location for our circuit. Now, we've had one session of qualifying, and you can see we've got some drivers having a few war stories about what happened. Let's jump in and have a little word with Johan, if he doesn't mind. Johan, we find yourself in the unusual position of being P16 after qualifying one. We haven't had a chance to speak since quali one. What happened?
Now, first of all, it was tight in the first 2-3 corners, but I managed to get past Timo in T4. And yeah, from there on, I was having 1.5 second gap to Sebastian, and then we got some technical issue, and yeah, that's it. So P16, but looks like I will be pole or P2, depends of if Bennett is coming, and I will Scheider might move up, and I might be P2, and I might meet Scheider again and be in the squeeze between the Munich cars, but we will see.
Now, it's unusual to have a technical issue. Is there any suggestion that could have happened because you didn't have time enough to prepare the cars because they arrived so late, or was it through contact?
No, I don't think. It's just one of these things that can happen sometimes, and if you could choose, it's the right moment for me to have it now. So, I mean, obviously you would like to have it optimal in the free practice, but you know, it's so many times that the margin has been on my side, and sometimes it's just one of those things that happen.
And of course, Petter had a tricky qualifying one as well, which means that you're not both in the best position going into quali 2, but it's good that you're in an early race because quite often you can get out in front and just put in some really fast laps.
Yeah, I will try. I mean, we'll see what the launch is like compared to the others, but I will try to have a good launch and from there on push as much as I can. I think Ekström might have a good hit as well. He's on pole, and then Sebastian, Timmy and Bakkerud and Petter. Depends a little bit on the first corner action, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, we cannot do more than just our best, and then we'll see. Now I have to go, sorry, bye-bye.
Good luck, thank you, there we go. So that was him just being told he had to go away and start the race. So Timo Scheider is confirmed, will be moved up into race one, which is one of the things that Johan Kristoffersen was concerned about. So he's squeezed in. Let's have a quick word with Kevin Eriksson. Kevin, you've had a very sort of aerodynamic haircut since we last saw you. Looks good, I like it. Tell us how qualifying one went for you.
Not perfect, but okay. I got out as P3 behind Petter and Matthias, and I tried to follow them, but lost, a little bit every time. I got a P11 in the end, so not ideal, but it's an okay start. So just gotta get I have pole position now, so just one more clean heat would be nice. And
give us a sense of what a difference it makes, because that turn one is such a big, wide turn, so many different potential lines. Does pole position help?
Always pole position is good because you don't need to have the greatest start. You have the inside line, but it's very easy to outbrake yourself, and because it's, like you say, it's very, very long. It's easy that you go too quick in and then they steal your inside line. So you need to be calm and just keep the inside. And you might see some guys go around the outside, but it doesn't really work at this corner. So just to be patient, that's the key.
Okay, be patient and we'll be watching. Thanks, Kevin. So look, here we go. These are the cars that are about to line up for race one of qualifying 2. And as you can hear the engines going on, I'm sure that the engines are revving up in the commentary booth with Marius Roberts and Andrew Coley.
be patient. That's what Kevin Eriksson said. You know, you've got to be super switched on. That's what we normally see from Johan. And again, him explaining there what we thought, which is that you had a technical issue. And also saying, again, what you said, look, I've been on the receiving end of loads of luck. Solberg's had 2 engines go this year. Kristoffersen's had none, so he knows the game, and when he says optimal would be free practice, that's when he wanted the issue. Okay, it came in Q1, but he's right, it's the best part of the weekend for it, and now we see a fight back.
But it hasn't really worked out for him now, because with Ollie Bennett not being there, look what's going to happen. He doesn't have pole in this race. He's now going to fight with a man who gave him a lot of action in Q1. So I think it's going to be a challenging first round for him.
Well, it'd be great fun to see Scheider and Kristoffersen go up against each other, and of course that's what they did in Q1.
Yeah.
So let's take a look back at some of the action from that first session if you missed it earlier today. So off the line then, Munich here, of course, and Baumanis, and this was what Kevin Eriksson was saying about be patient. Look at that. Baumanis was patient because he saw Munich go in, and you could at that point panic and get late on the brakes or early on the gas. Instead, he waited, stuck it up the inside, and the Latvian set a great time winning the first race of Q1. Nicely done, Yannis Baumanis. On to race 2. 5 cars down towards the first corner. Solberg on the inside. Ekstrom trying to go around the outside, all the way around. Looked like he might get it done. Solberg then ran Ekstrom wide. Did he do it on purpose? Was it a mistake? I think he went a bit too wide. Maybe he tried the idea and just overcooked it a bit. But Eriksson, look, managed to get past Ekstrom. Watch Eriksson over the jump, super sideways. Ekstrom then slides across and shuts the door. Tidily done from the previous World Rallycross and DTM champion, Great Racecraft. Solberg took it and went fastest. Here then, Kristoffersen, look on the inside, Timo Scheider. Sebastian Loeb gets the whole shot. Scheider now up the inside of Kristoffersen, little nudge in behind. Kristoffersen is sideways, has to settle for P3. He then makes a brilliant move down the chicane. Watch this, Kristoffersen, how late on the brakes, past a fantastic racer in Timo Scheider. Runs a bit wide, costs a bit of time, but defends the position, takes the place. Very well done indeed. This is the rear camera shot from turn 1, which you guys missed during the race last time, of him spinning when he had his small technical issue. That is driver speak for, I'm not quite going to tell you exactly what it was. Meanwhile, Sebastian Loeb out front was free to get the hammer down, and in fact to edge Petter Solberg. Solberg saying that a tyre barrier had moved and it cost him a bit of time. Certainly those first couple of corners would have cost a bit of time. Either way, at this point, Loeb P1 in the standings. Timmy Hansen, his teammate, up next. Timosyanov with one of the fastest reaction times at the start. Unfortunately got munked in turn 1, it didn't work out for him. Hansen, pretty much unchallenged, set up perfectly, almost to the 10th, the same lap times as Loeb over lap 1 and lap 2. He then set the fastest lap of the weekend on lap 3 to edge Loeb by 3/10 coming into the last lap. But watch Hansen's joker. Here he goes. Now he wants to get the car straight for the exit, but he also needs to be at the apex. And unfortunately, at the apex he was not. That cost him 0.4 of a second. He did the 3rd fastest joker lap of the session, but it was his teammate Sebastian Loeb who had done the fastest of the session. 0.4 of a second faster, which meant that Sebastian Loeb was the winner of Q1 from Timmy Hansen by 1/10 of a second. Bakkerud, Solberg, Baumanis right up there in 5th. Good job by him in Q1. Ekstrom, Kevin Hansen, Niklas Gronholm, your top 8. Timosyanov, Marklund, Eriksson, Larsen. But the big story, of course, Johan Kristoffersen and Timo Scheider, P15 and P16, 2 world-class drivers, one a double World Rallycross champion at the bottom of the field. Watch this. This is going to be an epic fight back. Right, let's get these underway. Marius Roberts joining me on commentary. Marius, great fun, wasn't it, the first session? Looking forward to more this time round?
Look, I think this is going to be where Johan breaks away, has a clean run. Fast guy, 3 cars on the grid. Great time to do a bit of a catch-up, but what he doesn't like is Timo Scheider has now taken that pole position because Ollie Bennett isn't there. So he's now moved into the middle position, which isn't great.
With his teammate Munich alongside him. So now Kristoffersen's up against the 2 Sats. We did see that we're very fast as well. So it's Scheider and Kristoffersen and then Munich, so him in the middle. Scheider we know is quick, as I say, but look at this, 15th, 16th, 17th, that's the way the grids work for Q2. It's the reverse of Q1, and they need a good result here. Ollie Bennett, unfortunately, not coming out for Q2, which might mean that it's the end of his weekend. It might mean they've just got a bit too much work to do, and he can get out for a couple of sessions tomorrow. I'd like to see the privateer driver getting another run. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Q2 race 1 about to head down to the first corner. Anti-lag on, waiting for the green. Brilliant start, Kristoffersson, absolutely mega. Fastest reaction time, 0.43 of a second. Shuts the door immediately on Scheider. And look how fast the Volkswagen is down towards turn 1. We know that last time out, the time of Loeb 2:51.0 was the benchmark. What can he do here, Marius?
He did what he needed to do. That is it. He had to have the fastest start off the line, and that basically takes Timo Schneider and Munich out of the battle. So he's done that. For him now, he's just got to keep it super clean and tidy. He's done his job right there on the start. Turn 1 taken out of the game, and off he goes. Timo Schneider going early.
But both the cars going early. I mean, fair enough, no worries, and then they're going to try and chase him down, hope he makes a mistake. But Johan now with an absolutely massive lead, and this is now where we get to see probably a demonstration drive. So fastest lap last time out was, what was it? It was Hansen, wasn't it?
Sebastian Loeb, actually.
No, Hansen.
Oh, it was Hansen.
Yeah, 40.3. So Loeb had the fastest Joker. You were right there. So 40.3 is the best lap time we've seen so far this weekend. Obviously, he's not going to do it off the first lap. But let's see if Kristoffersson can prove his class.
But he doesn't need to prove his class. He's done
No,
that.
he doesn't.
He's done that all
10 out of 11 is good enough for that, isn't it?
I think he's okay.
Lay it down, yeah.
We saw that earlier with the RX2s, when you have a fast guy finding himself way back on the grid with an open circuit, not having to fight with 5 cars into turn 1. He really can line himself up very well going into Q3. Munich looking very, very slow through the hairpin there. I wonder if he's got a problem again. He did have a DNF in race 1.
Right, Kristoffersson with a 40.6 for lap 1, a 40.8 for lap 2. So he's up with the sort of lap times that Sebastian Loeb and Timmy Hansen were doing in their final race. I say the ultimate time was a 40.3, but these are the sort of times you would have needed to win or be in the top 2 or 3 in Q1. So Kristoffersson is absolutely on it. We also saw in RX2, Ollie Eriksson, terrible Q1, wins Q2, back straight up back into the top 3. So he only needs a couple of good results to claw his way back up, especially when other people are having problems.
And you know, for him, as the championship wrapped up, he still wants to win every race. He wants to make it 11 from 12, just to really cement his domination. So I think this has actually played into his favour, but for me it came down to the start.
Another 40.6 for Kristoffersson, every lap in the 40s, just 0.2 in between it. Fastest Joker lap last time out was Sebastian Loeb, 43.0. So is Kristoffersson going to do a Loeb on the Joker, or is he going to do a Hansen? It's the last lap and you can get in a little bit too hot. Here we go, watching the world champion. He's going to try to get to the apex, but also get the car rotated on the way in. There it is. Smooth, and he makes it look easy, but what's the lap time going to say, and most importantly, where is the clock going to stop? So Kristoffersson down towards the last corner, coming through, going to stop the clocks at 2:51.2, 43.4 though, 4/10 slower than Loeb went through the Joker. So 2:51.2 though would have been enough to put him 3rd in Q1. So Kristoffersson with a really great run there. The ultimate pace, not quite there, but bear in mind a rallycross track, Marius, is never the same for 2 sessions.
It's ever changing, always evolving, but can we just say that the Peugeots have looked super
Yeah, they
fast from practice this morning. So I think there's a bit of work for the championship winning team to do going forward.
So Kristoffersson takes race 1. Scheider and Munich P2 and P3. Oliver Bennett apparently with a turbo issue, a DNS. So he was a DNF in Q1, so not ideal for him.
Scheider's moved up to basically run 10th or 11th.
Well, would have been in the first session,
first session, so not bad.
No, we could see the class of the Polo, certainly couldn't we, down towards the start there. They all got a pretty even reaction time, but he was clearly ahead by the time he got down to the first corner.
And you're right, straight away, close the door into turn 1, so Timo doesn't even have an option.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. In fact, you're going to get to see it now. So off the line, look, hooks it up. You know, not only is it a good reaction time, but it's great traction, and it's a good line. One wheel maybe over the inside, and that's it. Door shut, away you go.
That is what I love about this, is that obviously it comes down to the driver on the line. Besides reaction time, getting that clutch control right, getting that immense power down, ensuring you've got maximum traction off the line. It really does come down to the start, especially with a very, very busy turn 1, as we're going to see heading into the next race where there are 5 cars going door to door.
Kristoffersson with a very, very impressive run indeed. So equal in terms of lap times pretty much over the standard laps. A few tenths to find on the Joker, but everyone's got to find a few tenths compared to Sebastian Loeb. He leads Q2 as we stand.
So Johan, that's exactly what you needed, was a good clean run. That time would have put you 3rd in Quali 1. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, regarding the position I was in, it was a good hit. I had a brilliant launch. Car was working perfectly. after the issue in Q1. So yeah, I was happy. I think I lost everything in sector 2 compared to before on the gravel, but anyway, it was a good comeback for me.
Has the gravel changed? Is it evolving each race?
Yeah, it's changed. I mean, they resurface or they sweep it and put some water on it, so it's changed. So, but it's less dust if you're in the traffic. But if you're in front, it's a little bit slower. But I mean, for me, it was a very good heat anyway. So I'm pretty happy with day 1 anyway.
Well done, thank you.
Yeah, you know what we said. The track has evolved a bit because I think he's probably got the same pace as the Peugeots. What I love about him as well is that I'm losing it all in sector 2 on the gravel. You know, he's the detail that Kristoffersen goes into is incredible. Right, de Moustier has a problem, unfortunately, with his clutch. So we've had 2 cars now. Bennett and de Moustier haven't turned up for Q2. So this means that we've got the 2 OMSC teammates who are just inside the semi-finals in P1 and P2. And Gulan Shisharit, who is just outside the semi-finals, out in slot 4. So they do not take up the place that de Moustier would have been, which would have been P3 on the grid. So that means we've had 2 3-car races to start this session instead of a 3 and a 5. If these guys don't return tomorrow, then we'll have 3 5-car races, which you've got to be honest, I quite like, because then you don't get the easy run. If you have a bad one, you know, you have to face 5 cars in the next one. So, right, let's take a look then. Marshall gives the signal to each of the drivers, points them to the lights, and that will start the start procedures for them in the car. Anti-lag on, noise up. Very, very equal start on the inside for Ericsson and Larson. Shisharit looks to have got away even better than the pair of them. Shisharit slides across and closes the door. Ericsson's got a nose up the inside. No, he hasn't. Larson tries to go around the outside. Ericsson said be patient earlier on, but unfortunately, he's going to get taken here by both Shisharit and Larson. So Ericsson coming around the outside and ended up down in P3. He's got a better run than his teammate, though, down towards the chicane. Ericsson looks up the inside of Larson, but thinks better of it.
Shisharit can thank de Moustier for not being there. That's what shows you can do it from the outside, but there was no car there, so he had the space to move across and shut the door on Ericsson. And that shows getting very sideways with a hairpin, though, which isn't going to help.
But then, you know, straight on the exit, and this is what we were talking about after the first sessions we were discussing, did Hansen want to get the car handbraked and straight on the exit of the Joker, or did he have to do it because he was too late on the brakes? In the end, he lost 4 tenths. It doesn't really matter off the way. But again, differing driving style there. What's interesting to me is that Larson jokered ahead of Ericsson.
Well, look, he was, I think he was sitting behind him, though, wasn't he?
No, so Larson was in front,
He got past him because Ericsson got held up at Shisharit. So, look, maybe he wants to give himself real clear air, no dust to deal with. So let's have a look. Interesting move, you're right, to go Joker that early.
Shisharit, look, is pretty impressively sideways. In fact, most of the guys transitioning the chicane there quite spectacularly. Sideways again through, and seemingly still has the lap time out in the dirt on the outside there.
You see Larson have to correct over there. He actually got over-rotated, had it straight in the car, and then have a second run at that turn.
Gap's come down a little bit out front. It's down to 1.3 between Ericsson and Shisharit. So Shisharit a bit too sideways. The Frenchman had a great run in the French Rallycross Championship this year, and this car is brilliant. It's a marvel of technical advancement from pro driving. Yeah, they took the rule book and went, you know what, we've seen this has got a bunch of holes in it.
And for a first season, I mean, to have had this performance.
Them and
really,
GRX
really
for the
well
Hyundai this year. You know, lots of positives with these new teams able to come and compete with the long-established teams.
But look, GRX does come off the base that the VW team went with, where they take an extra rally car, so maybe some advantage.
But then TCK, to come and go, clean sheet of paper, here's the rule book, don't worry about that, we've found some little gaps. As I say, Shisharit continued to lead, but the gap now down to 0.9 of a second. So just 0.9 between them, and back up to 1.1. And they're both going to have to joker on this last lap.
And if you look at their lap times, they're 2.5 seconds off the pace. So they actually had a perfect opportunity to put in some really clean laps, but it seems like they really are overdriving, a lot of sideways action, which is unnecessary. The new style in Rallycross,
it's the low rally style. It's the low rally style. You can see that it works from the likes of Ekstrom and Kristoffersen. I have to say, I still like the fact that you can set a good time sideways, as we saw from Solberg. But even Solberg has tidied up his style a little bit to try and find that, traction on the exits. Larson, who jokered early, unfortunately it doesn't pay off for him. Kevin Ericsson manages to get the better of him. Shisharit coming down, but looking at the lap times, he's not going to be able to challenge Kristoffersen's 2:51.2. And in fact, it's a 2:57. So there you go. That is the difference between the double World Rallycross champion And some of the rest of the field. He's very impressive indeed.
Look, it's a better overall lap time, so I'm sure Shishirit will be happy with that. But let's have a look how the other teams go. But definitely an improvement there. So, but he did really well coming from the outside, closing that gap. That's the difference when you've got the space.
It was great, isn't it? It's just when you have to compare yourself to someone who's devastatingly good as Kristoffersson, it's ever so disappointing. It's not a comparison that you want to have to make, is it really?
No, you've got to track to yourself, and you're still getting blitzed by a second and a half.
Yeah. Great job by those Shishirit and the entire squad, I think, this year. Great to have GCK along with Pro Drive and Gulan and everyone who's been involved in it. Friendly team who've had a very impressive first season with a technical marvel. So I think they're going to do some work over the winter. What will they come back with? Eriksson, Larsen and de Moustier. And you can see, in fact, that the first run, Kristoffersson, Scheider and Munich were quicker. Off the line, look, Shishirit gets it hooked up nicely. And in fact, they were pretty equal. Till I would have said they got up into third or fourth gear. And
the initial start was similar, but he had the better drive going through the box. So yeah, really, really good start. But that, like I said, de Moustier not being there gave him the space to come from the outside and shut that door. But have a look there.
Oh, look at that! In fact, that was Eriksson tapping the wall, wasn't it?
And now we know why Larsen. That's why Eriksson went there. Why Larsen went for that joker so early, because he was also way back.
Round the right-hander. This was the very end of that run. Yeah, good job by Shishirit. Larsen unable to match his teammate. So it's Gulan Shishirit in the Pro Drive built Renault Megane for GCK.
Galan, it must be nice to get a race win. You did exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah, exactly. My first queue was a disaster. I took a bad start, and after I got upset. I made so many mistakes, so I was really upset. So I really need to come back and make a good Q2. So that's it. It's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Well, his teammate, look, Anton Markland is lining up for his tyre warm in the next one. Markland was, where was Markland? Markland was P10 in the last session, so he was 4 places ahead of Shishirit. He did a 2:56.7 last time out. Shishirit has just done a 2:57.0, so Shishirit much more on the pace of his teammate. And actually, to be fair, the timing screens have updated to show that Shishirit did beat both the Sats. I thought that was slightly strange. So, there we go, Mark, and the last one onto the grid. Let's take a look at the lineup then for Q2, race 3. Matthias Ekström on the inside, next to him Kevin Hansen, then it's Niklas Gronholm, Timo Timosjanov, so the Hyundai teammates side by side, and Anton Markland. Markland in 10th will want to hold on to his slot in the all-important top 12. Be nice to see one of the GCK cars through. Be nice to see both the GCK cars through. Yeah, he was epic. I think he's in a similar grid slot, because I remember our camera was right behind us. Timosjanov, 0.3 reaction time last time. He was an absolute rocket off the start, but do not count out the likes of Ekström, that their reaction times have been fantastic. Another really, really long hold and a very, very even start across the entire grid. There's no room at all. Ekström on the inside just manages to edge Gronholm. Markland going to try and go around the outside. Sideways from Ekström. Kevin Hansen has a look up the inside. Markland manages to get back to the apex of turn 2. Shuts the door on Kevin Hansen. And the two Hyundais are down in P3 and P4. Kevin Hansen runs up the back of Markland as they go over the jump. But Markland holds on to second. Yeah, really good. Really, really good. Yeah, really, really good by Markland. Sorry there. So yeah, Marius with a slight technical issue. You were saying?
What I was saying, we haven't seen that yet. The man starting on the outside, Markland, got the best start from the outside and managed to find himself in second. Everyone else has got muscled out, but he's nailed it. So that's going to mess with guys' heads going into the next race. Well, it can be done from the outside.
Exactly. Thank you, Marius. Second time round worked okay, didn't it, in the end? Luckily, it's not us taking the starts there. Otherwise, one of us would have been left with a stall on that one. Ekström leading from Mark, and Timosjanov has managed managed to get past Hansen, of course, because Hansen and Gronov both jokered on the first lap, and Timosyanov all the way over the grass. Kevin Hansen super late on the brakes and sideways. Henson almost left it too late to get into the chicane. Had to maybe use the handbrake to turn that one round. Timosyanov goes joker this time. He's going to lose out to both his teammate and to Kevin. And Timosyanov's got a problem. The rear end of Timosyanov's car, there's smoke pouring off the rear end. So has he broken a link on the suspension? Maybe no such problems over Ekstrom. And Anton Marks now front. Ekstrom putting in the 40s. He's in a 40.9 for lap 2. So Ekstrom's on a good push here in the Audi.
Look, Tim is still out on track, but something clearly went wrong when he came over the jump.
Yeah, you can see rear left.
He's got a rear puncture.
He's lost the punk. Yeah, lost the tyre on the rear left. There we go. So yeah, we saw, didn't we, as he ran super wide, and he's putting on a bit of a smoke show for the fans as he almost spins in turn 2. So Markland chasing down Ekstrom. Who's going to go? Joker? Nobody. So these guys are going to leave it until the last lap. They're not quite on the pace of the Peugeots and the Volkswagens.
That may be the case, but this is exactly what Matthias Ekstrom needs to do in that battle to secure the second position in the championship. Just keep it clean and simple. That's Q2. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Okay, now we're on the pace. Ekstrom down with a 40.7, takes another 2/10 off the previous lap time. Matthias Ekstrom showing the Audi does have the pace to match the factory cars from Peugeot and Volkswagen. Matthias Ekstrom, 2016 World Rallycross champion, on a massive push here. He'd love to take a win for his own home-built squad. It's been fantastic having them in this series. We hope they'll be staying with us. Brilliant outfit that raised the game of a lot of things across the paddock here. So go on, Matthias, have a big push. 2:51.2 is the target time for him. That's Johan Kristoffersson. Going to be a big ask to get to that. In the background, Markland is hoping to outtrack Kevin Hansen on the run down to the merge. What's going to happen in the merge? In the background, Kevin Hansen versus Anton Markland. Ekstrom takes the flag. 2:52.7 from Ekstrom, so he's not as quick as Kristoffersson, but he's not far off. Markland has just managed to get ahead of Kevin Hansen by 0.3 of a second, so really good run there. Timosyanov still out there with that rear left puncture, so maybe hitting something. But that was a great 43.1 as well. He's only a 10th of a second off the best Joe. So Ekstrom there was only a 10th on the last couple of laps off a very impressive standard lap and a perfect Joker lap.
Look at that progression: 49, 40.7, and a 43.1.
Yeah.
Really solid into his Q2. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely great stuff. Pretty much what we'd expect from Ekstrom too. So Timosyanov rolling back down through. You can see in the background the smoke coming off the back of his car. I don't know if he lost the tyre entirely. I don't know what he hit. Maybe he clipped the curb on the inside and pulled the tyre off the rim. But either way, issues for him. And here's the result there. Matthias Ekstrom 2:52.7. Markland Hansen is the Swedish 1-2-3. Niklas Gran on the Finn down in 4th. And the Russian one, Timosyanov, is in 5th. Kristoffersson, though, still at the top of the table. But look at that. P2, P3 and P4. So that is a great run by Markland, and Sheestreet looking good down in P5 as well. Fantastic stuff from Ekstrom. Neil Cole is with him now.
Matthias, speaking to you yesterday, you told me that you really want to end the season with an event win. Does a heat win like that give you the confidence you can do it?
No, I think the problem was we had the first corner was first 3 corners was costing too much time. So I think it will be all up to the other guys how much they crash and bang in the first corner. So, but anyway, we are having an okay pace around the track, but. It's pretty difficult to have a clean run when the first lap is costing more than 1.5 seconds.
You're second quickest so far in this session.
Yeah, but what I meant is the time loss you get. It looks great on TV when you race, but the format on Rallycross is you need to have clean runs for the lap for a good total time, and even we win, we spend a lot of time in the first 2 corners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, Matthias saying the first couple of corners are crucial to a good time, and obviously you don't want to lose too much time with a bit of a squabble going on. He got a good start there, did he? A little tiny bit of contact before he got released. Bit of dirt on the inside.
You know what helped Markland is the guys inside of him were so busy fighting for that inside line into turn 1. He said, I'll stay out wide, let you guys have a battle, and look what happened.
And that's what you can do, is you can back off sometimes, let not the carnage, but let the action unfold in front of you and slot up the inside. But it's a real gamble because, yeah, exactly. But it is a real gamble because you don't know. You know, if it doesn't unfold on the inside in front of you, you don't get that advantage. You go, well, hang on, I've just given up a chance at P2 for P5. Sometimes it works out and you're like, hey, happy days, I'm right up at the front. But no such problems for Ekstrom. He was right up at the front anyway, hammering in the good lap times, and he was there. Look how close the merge was between Kevin Hansen and Anton Markland. Markland doing a fantastic job in the GTK machine, but Ekstrom takes it, not quite as fast as Johan Kristoffersson. 1.5 seconds the margin at the minute for Kristoffersson at the top of Q2, having had that shocking Q1 down in P16. A win in Q2 would see him drag his way back up, but he has to beat the times of these guys, and of course they all beat him in Q1, but we know what the Peugeots have been capable of here. Sebastian Loeb and Timmy Hansen 1/10 of a second apart, setting fastest laps between them on several occasions. Loeb, the holder at the minute of the fastest Joker lap time, 1/10 of a second quicker than Ekstrom went on that last run. Andreas Backerud, has he got the same settings as Ekstrom? Does he want the same settings as Ekstrom? What can he do? Solberg, of course, super quick in Q1, but he said the tyre bell was slightly out of position. Did it make a difference? How much did he lose in turn 1? And a fantastic performance by Baumanis in a 3-car race. Can he repeat it in a 5-car race? Very, very much looking forward to this. This is the conclusion of the racing for Saturday here in Cape Town. Last Saturday of the year. Where's the season gone? It's absolutely flown by. We really hope you've enjoyed these live streams that we've brought to you every session live since Silverstone. This should be a cracker. Revs are fully up already. The Marshall's clear of the grid. The cars are about to be Loeb versus Hansen on the run down to turn 1, but it's Solberg who's got the best start. It's going to move straight across and shuts the door. Solberg from P3 before on the grid has managed to get right the way down, looking up the inside, but Solberg's got it. Hansen runs wide, Loeb runs wide, backwards up the inside, and one of the two Peugeots is going to end up P3. From the commentary box we can see Solberg leading over the jump. Hansen in behind, backward has made it to P3, then it's Loeb and Baumanis. So Hansen versus Solberg now. What do you do for Joker lap tactics here?
The big loser there was obviously Timmy Hansen. And you know what we've seen? Loeb's gone for the Joker. He needed to. He had the inside line on that start, but what a blitz start by Peter Solberg. Nailed them, closed that gap, shut down the inside, and that was the end of the race. But Loeb's gone for the Joker early. He had to, because that bad start, getting muscled out through turn 2, he's got no option.
And he can, at least in this race, when everyone is this quick, you can at least go for a Joker, because you know you're unlikely to catch the pack, and if you do, you know, then one of them has had a problem. So Solberg, look, on a flyer, but with him, right with him, is Timmy Hansen. Jumps out of the dust, Backerud 2. I think they're going to struggle to match Kristoffersson on the basis that there's 5 cars in here, there's dust as well, and that Johan, you know, has absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark.
Well, to be fair, Petter can, because he had such a good start, closed the door into turn 1, now he's got a straight race. He's actually not in a battle with anyone else.
Very good point indeed.
I think we're going to see good results.
Can he keep a cool head and can he match those lap times?
Backerud's gone to take it.
Oh, Backerud versus Loeb at the merge, just in front of the French World Rally legend. Continuing that legendary status with that recent win in Spain, of course, for Citroën. Driving for both the PSA brands, Citroën and Peugeot.
So taking the Joker for Loeb didn't quite work there. He wanted to come out ahead of Backerud, but Backerud closed him off. And that's what we love about this Joker, is that high-speed merge. It's awesome.
Good tactics too from EKS to spot the fact that it was going to be close. They may think that Loeb is quicker, so send Backerud now and at least defend that one position. It all counts in qualifying. Into the Joker lap goes Timmy Hansen. So Hansen Jokers from P2. He'll be hoping not to come out behind Baumanis. It's going to be close between the Baumanis. Makes a little mistake. He's super close in the merge. Extra speed for Hansen, though. Comes out in front of Baumanis. Tiny tactics from Peugeot.
You know what I'm impressed with is Baumanis. You said earlier he found himself in this position because he had a 3-car race. He had a clean start. But he's shown some great tactics and skills and pace in a 5-car race.
Timmy Hansen going to be looking now to put some seriously quick laps in. His Joker lap was half a second slower, though, than it's possible to go through there. So we've seen already Ekstrom do a 0.1 through there, and that's a 0.5. But Solberg, looks like he's going to come out for the Joker in the lead. Is he going to come out, though, with enough time to beat his teammate Johan Kristoffersson? So Solberg through the last right-hander. Behind him, Baumanis Jokers too. Solberg's only just going to be in front of Timmy Hansen. Target time 2:51.2. Here we go. Solberg aiming to take the session. Can he do it, or will Johan hold on? It's Johan. Johan's got it 2:51.2. 1.3 seconds slower for Solberg. The world champion has struck back P16 after Q1. He wins Q2, and that will drag him back into the fight for an 11th win of the season. Unprecedented performance so far this year, and another great fight back from Johan. Solberg with a clear run there, just not quite able to get it done. 6/10 off Ekstrom's time in the Joker lap. So did he lose a bit of time there, Marius? What do you think?
Look, the Peugeot is just not as quick as they were earlier. That for me is quite surprising. And even Petr just didn't have that out-and-out pace. Johan was running in the high 40s. The rest of them are in the mid-41s. So the Peugeots looked good when they had open air and a clean track, but not so quick now.
Super close at the top. Look at this. Petr Solberg, 252.6. Hansen just over half a second behind him. Then Bakker at Loeb, Yannis Baumanis. And where do they slot in? So the top four all slot into the top six. Ekstrom and Kristoffersen with brilliant drives, respectively. Solberg has just managed to get ahead of Ekstrom. So it's a 1-2 for Johan Kristoffersen and Petr Solberg in Q2. Fantastic performance from a team who didn't have their cars here yesterday. Brilliant job.
Petr, you look much happier with that result than you did when I saw you at the end of Q1.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was so mad after the first hit with a bad launch. I had a very good start. I really had the perfect one, and I tried to drive clean as possible. Did a little bit chicken in some places. It's so loose, and you lose very quickly time, especially the first corner. It's big gravel, and I think, you know, be second fastest overall is quite good. The first corner is so much gravel compared with the first hit, so I'm happy with that. You still have to try to improve and find things, some more speed on the track, but you will see when they come in.
But the Peugeots had 1-2 in qualifying 1. You guys have got 1 and 2 in qualifying 2. That's a good fight back.
Yeah, for sure. It's very, very important to. I think this weekend will be a big fight. You know, everybody's pushing every small detail, working on the setup, and this will not be an easy weekend, that's for sure. But if I'm gonna have a chance, I have to win everything, and one of the others have to have some problems. So I can only do the best I can.
Let's see you tomorrow. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Solberg chasing second place in the standings, a very long shot, but that is the gravel he was talking about up in turn 1. There is a lot of it there now. People have been hooking wheels. There's actually a row of yellow bollards on the inside, but look at that. That's a huge amount of gravel to have on what is a relatively, it's a medium speed tarmac corner, but it's at the entry, Mario, so it's going to affect, look at this, it's going to affect your line the whole way through, and that's fair. And that, you know, it's a bit like a rally stage developing when drivers take cuts. They're taking a little cut on the way into turn 1 here, and that's meaning that it's getting increasingly difficult to carry that speed through. We're going to take a look back at the replays, and maybe we'll be able to see if that affected them. I think certainly when you see them go into turn 1 on the first lap, you'll see it for sure.
Look at the start that Petr Solberg had. Absolutely nails it, shuts the door and everybody race over. He has the dirt though. There's no dirt now. Have a look. Everyone's putting 2 or 3 wheels over because turn 1 has become such a critical turn on the circuit. So that's going to slow them down later on in the race. I wonder if they're going to look at that.
The problem is, of course, as well, now the dirt's in the road, the drivers are cutting to counteract the dirt being in the road. Every time they cut, they drag more dirt into the road. So, you know, this time round, it's maybe helped Kristoffersen being in the first race, but there's no arguing that Kristoffersen did exactly what he needed to do. Respond to a terrible Q1, smash the lap time to take the session.
Look, it was such a close battle for the rest of it. We saw that merge with Timmy Hansen and Bakker. A lot of action in the back, and I think that's where the Peugeots tripped over themselves actually in this race and really gave the advantage back to PSRX.
Here we are then, the standings after Q2. Sebastian Loeb, the overnight top qualifier, having won Q1, not quite so good in Q2, but it is Loeb who is the overnight TQ from Petr Solberg and Timmy Hansen. So despite the fact the Peugeots didn't have quite such a good Q2, they're right up there. Look, 2 out of the 3 spaces overnight. Petr Solberg P2, Bakker at P4, Ekstrom P5. Those two, remember, fighting it out for second in the standings. At the minute, advantage Bakker. It's a tiny advantage. Ekstrom's a few points ahead in the standings. Kristoffersen P16 to P6 with the win in Q2. Kevin Hansen and Yannis Baumanis 7th and 8th. Here you go then, Markland, Gronholm, Schischrit, both the GCK cars in at the minute. Gronholm's in, Kevin Eriksson in at the minute. Scheider, Larsen, Timosyanov and Munich have a little bit of work to do. Great stuff from Q1 and Q2. My thanks to Marius Roberts for today. Very much looking forward to tomorrow's action.
Well, after we came here last year, this place promised such great action, and it's delivered already today in 2 sessions, and of course the sessions of RX2 as well. That amazing red dust, the Table Mountain, the views, and the fact that grassroots rallycross has grown here since we came last year. So I'm going to join the fans in the grandstand to watch these local rallycross drivers tear around this circuit. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, across all our social media channels over the next 12 hours, we'll be putting pictures, videos, and information using the hashtag WorldRX. But from Marius and Andrew up in the commentary booth and the whole TV team, thanks for watching, and we'll see you bright and early for qualifying 3, then 4, then the semi-finals, and the final, the grand finale of the 2018 season, all right here. See you tomorrow.